Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Caitanya Book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on July 31st, 2020 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Karoti Vachalam Pangulang Ayate Grim Yatifata Mahan Bande Sri Gurum Dinatadinam Paramanandamadaram Sri Chaitanya Ishtaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Today is the second day of our Julan Jatra.
Today is the second day of Julan Yatra.
Also the disappearance day of Rupa Goswami and Gauridas Pandit.
Also the disappearance day of Rupa Goswami and Gauridas Pandit.
Rupa Goswami was the younger brother of Sanat Goswami.
Rupa Goswami was the younger brother of Sanatan Goswami.
He was the finance minister under the Emperor of Hussein Shah.
He was the finance minister under the Emperor of Hussein Shah.
And actually he was the most prominent of all the 6 Goswamis.
Actually, he is the most prominent of all the 6 Goswamis.
And so one day Rupa Sanatana Raghayo Sri Jiva Gopalako.
So Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalako.
Offer our obeisances to Sri Rupa Goswami and the other 5 Goswamis.
So we offer our obeisances to Sri Rupa Goswami and the other 5 Goswamis.
Gauridas Pandit was one of the Gopals in Vrindavan.
Gauridas Pandit was one of the Gopas in Vrindavan.
And he was a friend of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda.
So he was a friend of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda.
So his temple is there at Kalna.
So his temple is there at Kalna.
And his disciple was Hridayananda Das.
So his disciple was Hridayananda Das.
But Hridayananda had organized a Gaur Purnima festival.
But Hridayananda had organized a Gaur Purnima festival.
But he had not taken permission from Gauridas Pandit.
But he had not taken permission from Gauridas Pandit.
Gauridas told him not to do that.
Gauridas told him not to do that.
But people were arriving with donations.
But people were arriving with donations.
And then he said, okay. Gauridas Pandit said, all right.
So, and then he said, okay. Gauridas Pandit said, all right.
They're having a kirtan.
When they were having a kirtan,
And the Lord Chaitanya Nityananda left the altar.
Lord Chaitanya Nityananda left the altar.
And they entered into the kirtan.
And they entered into the kirtan.
Gauridas Pandit could see them,
Gauridas Pandit could see them,
but others could not.
but others could not.
So Gauridas Pandit came out with the offering for the lunch.
So Gauridas Pandit, he knew what they were offering for the lunch.
He came out with the offering for lunch.
So he came out with the offering for the for lunch.
While the deity had gone,
Where the deities had gone.
then he saw that they were chanting in the kirtan.
So he saw that they were chanting in the kirtan.
He ran a stick. Said, don't cheat me, don't run away.
He ran with the stick, don't cheat me, don't run away.
And Lord Chaitanya then hit in the heart of Hridayananda.
Lord Chaitanya then hid in the heart of Hridayananda.
Since then he was known as Hriday Chaitanya.
Since then he was known as Hriday Chaitanya.
Then he ran out and Nitai Gaur went back to the altar.
And then he went out, Nitai Gaur went back to the altar.
So since then, whenever you go to see the deity,
So since then, whenever you go to see the deities,
they close the curtain
they close the curtain frequently.
since they say that a Lord may get attached to some devotee and leave.
So since they say that the Lord may get attached to some devotees and may leave,
And they close the curtain.
so they close the curtain.
Many other pastimes.
Many other pastimes.
Tonight we'll read
Tonight we'll read, the Lord decides to take sannyas to deliver the offenders. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela.
একদিন গোপী ভাবে গৃহেতে বসিয়া গোপী গোপী নাম লয় বিষণ্ণ হইয়া।
One day the Lord, in the ecstasy of the gopis, was sitting in his house. Very morose in separation, he was calling, Gopi, Gopi.
মর্ম অনভিজ্ঞ পাষণ্ড ছাত্রের প্রভুকে নিবারণ। এক পড়ুয়া আইল প্রভুকে দেখিতে গোপী গোপী নাম শুনি লাগিল বলিতে।
A student who came to see the Lord was astonished that the Lord was chanting Gopi, Gopi. Thus he spoke as follows.
প্রভুর গোপীকে নাম উচ্চারণে পড়ুয়ার দুর্বুদ্ধি বসে প্রভুকে উপদেশ দান চেষ্টা ও প্রভুর পড়ুয়া নির্যাতন উদ্বেগ। একদিন গোপী ভাবে জগত ঈশ্বর বৃন্দাবন গোপী গোপী বলে নিরন্তর।
one day the Lord of the universe, Lord Gauranga,
One day the Lord of the universe, Lord Gauranga,
absorbed in the mood of the gopis,
absorbed in the mood of the gopis,
he chanted,
Vrindavan,
Vrindavan, Golti,
Gopi,
Golti,
Gopi.
and he chanted incessantly.
He chanted incessantly.
কুঞ্জগে তহি এক পড়ুয়া আইল ভাব মর্ম না জানিয়া সে উত্তর দিল।
At that time, a student came there for some purpose.
At that time, a student came there for some purpose.
He didn't understand the mood of the Lord.
He didn't understand the mood of the Lord.
And he spoke
And he spoke
as follows.
as follows.
গোপী গোপী কেন বলো নিমাই পণ্ডে গোপী গোপী ছাড়ি কৃষ্ণ বলহ তরি।
My Pandit, why are you chanting Gopi Gopi?
Nimai Pandit, why are you chanting Gopi Gopi?
Stop chanting Gopi Gopi
Stop chanting Gopi Gopi
and chant the name of Krishna.
and chant the name of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela.
কৃষ্ণ নাম না লও কেনে কৃষ্ণ নাম ধন্য গোপী গোপী বলিলে বাকি বা হয় পূর্ণ।
Why are you chanting the names of Gopi, Gopi instead of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which is so glorious? What pious result will you achieve by such chanting?
The words are
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vishesha na Bhujaya. No one can understand the activities of a pure devotee. A student or neophyte devotee could not possibly understand why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting the name of the gopis. Nor should the student have asked the Lord about the potency of chanting Gopi Gopi. The neophyte student was certainly convinced of the piety in chanting of Krishna's holy name. But this sort of attitude is also offensive. Dharma vrata tyaga hutadi sarva shubhakriya samyam api pramadaha. To chant the holy name of Krishna in exchange for the achievement of piety is an offense. This, of course, was unknown to the student. Thus, he innocently asked, what piety is there in the chanting of the name Gopi? He did not know that there was no question of piety or impiety. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna or the holy name of Gopi is on the transcendental platform of loving affairs. Since he was not expert in understanding such transcendental activities, his question was merely impudent. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, apparently greatly angry at him, reacted as follows. Chaitanya Bhagavat.
কি পূর্ণ জন্মিবে গোপী গোপী নাম লইলে কৃষ্ণ নাম লইলে সে পূর্ণ বেদে বলে
what good karma would you get by chanting Gopi Gopi?
What good karma will you get by chanting Gopi Gopi?
By taking the holy name of Lord Krishna.
By taking the holy name of Lord Krishna,
The Vedas say
the Vedas say,
one achieve great good karma.
one achieves great good karma.
So the point is that in the 10 offenses to the holy name,
So the point is that in the 10 offenses to the holy name,
one of the offenses, 9 I think, to consider the holy name as another pious activity.
the 8th offense is to consider the holy name as another pious activity.
That the name of Krishna is not different from Krishna.
The name of Krishna is not different from Krishna.
To relate it to a pious activity like giving,
She related to pious activities like giving,
charity, or doing some austerity.
charity, or doing some austerity.
Very offensive.
It's very offensive.
Krishna's holy name is transcendental to all that.
Krishna's holy name is transcendental to all that.
More than a punya karma.
It's not punya karma.
But this neophyte student knew that the name of Krishna was punya karma, pious activity.
So this student, neophyte student, he knew that Krishna's name was punya karma or pious activity.
But he didn't know the value of chanting Gopi.
But he didn't know the value of chanting Gopi.
ভিন্ন ভাব প্রভুর সে অজ্ঞে নাহি বুঝে প্রভু বলে দস্যু কৃষ্ণ কুঞ্জনে ভজে
Lord Gauranga was absorbed in a different mood.
Lord Gauranga was absorbed in a different mood.
But the ignorant student could not understand.
But the ignorant student could not understand.
The Lord said,
The Lord said,
Krishna is a thief.
Krishna is a thief.
Who will worship him?
Who will worship him?
কৃতজ্ঞ হইয়া বালি মারে দোষ বিনে স্ত্রী জাতি হইয়া কাটে স্ত্রী নাক কানে
He mercilessly killed Vali
He mercilessly killed Vali
for no fault of his,
for no fault of his,
being controlled by his wife.
being controlled by his wife.
He cut off another lady's
Cut off of the another lady's
nose and ears.
nose and ears.
সর্বস্ব লইয়া বালি পাঠায় পাতালে কি হইবে আমার তাহার নাম লইলে
He took everything from Bali
He took everything from Bali
and he sent him to the lower planet,
and he sent him to the lower planets,
Pataloka.
Patala Loka.
What will I achieve by taking his name,
What will I achieve by taking his name,
by chanting his name?
by chanting his name?
এত বলি মহাপ্রভু স্তম্ভ হাতে লইয়া পড়ুয়া মারিতে যায় ভাবাবিষ্ট হইয়া
Saying these words,
Saying these words,
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu,
Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu
took a stick in his hands,
took a stick in his hand,
absorbed in ecstasy.
absorbed in ecstasy.
He rushed the student
He rushed towards the student
to beat him.
to beat him.
Okay, read it.
Considering himself a resident of Vrindavan as the son of a cowherd, Sri Gaur-Sundar addressed the daughter of Vrishabhanu. On hearing him, a young Brahmin student who could not understand the internal mood of Lord Gauranga said, "Chanting the name of Krishna is the only way to be delivered from the material existence. How have you been misguided to give up chanting such names and take to the chanting the name of a gopi?" The young student did not know that one cannot attain the lotus feet of Krishna without taking the shelter of the gopis, who are Krishna's Ashray Vigrahas, or the Lord's manifestations of whom one must take shelter. In particular, since that foolish student did not study the Srimad Bhagavatam verse Ahuschate Nalina Nabha Ahuschate Nalina Nabha Padharavindam Yogeshwarer Hridi Vichintyam Aghada Bodhai Samsara Kupa. Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts. Although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.82.48. He tried to induce Gaur-Sundar to chant the name of Krishna like an abominable atonement prescribed by a smarta supervisor in a way that clashed with the internal mood of Gaur-Sundar, who therefore attempted to show that student the same treatment Sri Madhavendra Puri showed to his misguided disciple Ramachandra Puri. What will I gain by taking shelter of that rogue Krishna, who cut off the nose and ears of the lusty Surpanakha, who killed Vali, and who sent Bali to Patala after taking everything away from him, after speaking such loving, quarrelsome words, Mahaprabhu chased after that student.
So these words of Lord Chaitanya
So these words of Lord Chaitanya
are actually in a loving mood,
are actually in a loving mood,
and it's very difficult for this student to understand.
and it is very difficult for this student to understand.
He was on a much more neophyte level.
He was almost in the neophyte level,
And Lord Chaitanya was in a mood of internal ecstasy.
Lord Chaitanya was in the mood of internal ecstasy.
So the student created some offense
So the student created some offense
to Lord Chaitanya.
to Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela.
প্রহার অর্থ প্রভুর পশ্চাৎধাবন, ছাত্রের পলায়ন। শুনি প্রভু ক্রোধে কইল কৃষ্ণে দোষোদ্গার, ঠ্যাঙা লইয়া উঠিলা প্রভু পড়ুয়া মারিবার।
Hearing the foolish student, the Lord became greatly angry and rebuked Lord Krishna in various ways. Taking up a stick, he rose to strike the student. Purport. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that when Uddhava came from Lord Krishna with the message for the gopis, all the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani, denounced Krishna in various ways. Such denunciations, however, reflect an exuberant loving attitude that an ordinary man cannot understand. When the foolish student questioned Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya similarly rebuked Lord Krishna in loving exuberance. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the mood of the gopis and the student advocated the cause of Sri Krishna, Lord Chaitanya was greatly angry. Seeing his anger, the foolish student, who was an ordinary atheistic Smarta Brahmana, foolishly misjudged him. Thus, he and a party of students were ready to strike the Lord in retaliation. After this incident, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas so that people would not commit offences against him. Considering him an ordinary householder, for in India, even now a sannyasi is naturally offered respect.
So this was a straw that broke the camel's back.
So this was a
Straw that broke the camel's back.
straw broke the camel's back.
This was the turning point.
So this was the turning point.
Finally, Lord Chaitanya was already inclined to take sannyas.
So finally Lord Chaitanya was already inclined to take sannyas.
Now he considered that taking sannyas,
Now he considered that taking sannyas,
people would not commit offenses to him
people would not commit offences to him
by not understanding his internal moods,
by not understanding his internal moods,
because they would have natural respect for sannyasi.
because they will have natural respect for sannyasi.
আথে ব্যথে পড়ুয়া উঠিয়া দিল রর, পাছে ধায় মহাপ্রভু বলে ধর ধর।
The student quickly rose up and ran away.
The student quickly got up and ran away.
And Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu ran after him.
And Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu ran after him, exclaiming,
catch him, catch him.
Catch him, catch him. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
ভয়ে পালায় পড়ুয়া প্রভু পাছে পাছে ধায় আস্তে ব্যস্তে ভক্তগণ প্রভুরে রহায়
The student ran away in fear, and the Lord followed him, but somehow or other the devotees checked the Lord.
দেখিয়া প্রভুর ক্রোধ ঠ্যাঙ্গা হাতে ধায় সত্তরে সংশয় মানি পড়ুয়া পলায়
Seeing Lord Gauranga,
Seeing Lord Gauranga
in an angry mood,
in angry mood,
with a stick in his hand,
with a stick in his hand,
running. The student quickly
the student
panicked and ran away.
The student quickly panicked and ran away. Not understanding the intention of Srila Gaur Sundar, that student became extremely anxious and fearful and ran away to escape being beaten by his stick. Charitamrita.
প্রভুর সান্ত্বনা প্রভুরে শান্ত করি আনিল নিজ ঘরে পড়ুয়া পলাই গেল পড়ুয়া সভারে
The devotees pacified the Lord and brought him home, and the student ran away to an assembly of other students. Chaitanya Bhagavat.
ভিন্নভাবে যায় প্রভু না জানে পড়ুয়া প্রাণ লইয়া মহাত্রাসে যায় পলাইয়া
A student didn't understand the subtle mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
The student
Lord
didn't
Gauranga
The
Mahaprabhu.
student didn't understand the separate mood of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu,
By which the Lord was being chased.
by which he was chased.
He was afraid for his life
He was afraid for his life
and frightened,
and frightened,
and he ran.
and he ran. Chaitanya Bhagavat.
ভক্তগণ কর্তৃক প্রভুকে নিবারণ আত্মে ব্যত্তে ধাইয়া প্রভুর ভক্তগণ আনিলেন ধরিয়া প্রভুরে ততক্ষণ
Lord Gauranga's devotees
Lord Gauranga's devotees
quickly ran after the Lord
quickly ran after the Lord
and caught him and brought him back.
and caught him and brought him back.
সবে মেলি স্থির করাইলেন প্রভুরে মহাভয়ে পড়ুয়া পালাইয়া গেল দূরে
All the devotees together
All the devotees together
when Lord Gauranga pacified Lord Gauranga.
pacified Lord Gauranga.
All the student in great fear, he ran away, far away.
The student, in great fear, he ran far away. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
ছাত্র সমাজে প্রভুর প্রতি কুটুক্তি ও ক্রোধ পড়ুয়া সহস্র যাহা পরে ঠায় প্রভুর বৃত্তান্ত দ্বিজ কহে তাহা যায়
The Brahmana student ran to a place where 1,000 students were studying together. There, he described the incident to them. Purport.
Here's the first paragraph.
In this verse, we find the word Dvija, indicating that the student was a Brahmana. Actually, in those days, only the members of the Brahmana class became students of Vedic literature. Schooling is meant especially for Brahmanas. Previously, there was no question of schooling for Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, or Shudras. Kshatriyas used to learn the technology of warfare, and Vaishyas learned business from their fathers and other businessmen. They were not meant to study the Vedas. At present, however, everyone goes to school and everyone is given the same type of education, although no one knows what the result will be. The result, however, is most unsatisfactory, as we have seen in the Western countries especially. The United States has vast educational institutions where everyone is allowed to receive an education, but the result is that most students become like hippies.
In the higher education,
So, the higher education
whereby everyone learns about devotional service
whereby everyone learns about devotional service
to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
That aspect of education is actually lacking in the modern education.
That aspect of education is actually lacking in the modern education.
The golden age that is predicted in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana,
The golden age that is predicted in Brahma Vaivarta Purana,
10,000 years of the golden age,
the 10,000 years of the golden age,
where people said that people will be one caste,
it is said that people would be one caste,
devotees of Hari.
devotees of Hari.
So that is what is needed today.
That is what is needed today.
By giving education to everyone without actually having a purpose.
By giving education to everyone, but without having a purpose
To serve the Lord
to serve the Lord,
is creating confusion.
it is creating confusion.
So the perfection of education is
The perfection of education is
to teach the people to be devotees
to teach the people to be devotees
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
I read that. Prabhupada said,
Srila Prabhupada says, there must be a group of students who become Brahmanas. Without Brahmanas who study the Vedic literature, human society will be entirely chaotic.
চৈতন্য ভাগবত পড়ুয়ার পালায়ন ও নিজ সঙ্গীদিগের নিকট সম্যক বর্ণন সত্তরে চলিলা যথা পড়ুয়ারগণ সর্ব অঙ্গে ঘর্মশ্বাস বহে ঘনে ঘন
quickly he ran and went to the place of his fellow students.
Quickly he ran and went to the place of his fellow students.
His body was heavily perspiring,
His body was heavily perspiring
and he was breathing
heavily.
সভ্রমে জিজ্ঞাসে সবে ভয়ের কারণ কি জিজ্ঞাসা আজি ভাগ্যে রহিল জীবন
Some of his fellow students
So his fellow students
anxiously inquired, what is the cause of your fear?
What is the cause of your fear?
So don't ask, and he replied.
And don't ask, he replied.
No, and he replied.
And he replied,
Hey, don't ask.
don't ask.
They are lucky that I'm still alive.
Today I am lucky that I am still alive. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
ছাত্র সমাজে প্রভুর প্রতি কুটুক্তি ও ক্রোধ। শুনি ক্রোধ কইল সপড়ুয়ারগণ, সবে মেলি করে তবে প্রভুর নিন্দন।
Hearing of the incident, all the students became greatly angry and joined together in criticizing the Lord. Chaitanya Bhagavat.
সবে বলে বড় সাধু নিমাই পণ্ডিত, দেখিতে গেলাম আমি তাহার বাড়ি।
Everyone says that my Pandit is a big sadhu, a great saint.
Everyone says that Nimai Pandit is a big sadhu or a great saint.
I went to his house
So I went to his house
to see him.
দেখিলাম বসিয়া জপেন এই নাম, অহর নিশি গোপী গোপী না বলয়ে আন।
I saw he was sitting and chanting this name.
So I saw he was sitting and chanting this name
Day and night
day and night.
he was chanting Gopi Gopi,
Day and night he was chanting Gopi Gopi,
not chanting other names.
not chanting other names.
তাহে আমি বলিলাম কি করো পণ্ডিত, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলো যেন শাস্ত্রের বিহিত।
I said to him,
So I said to him,
what are you doing?
what are you doing,
Oh Pandit,
O Pandit?
chant Krishna Krishna
Chant Krishna Krishna
as the scriptures have prescribed.
as the scriptures have prescribed.
এই বাক্য শুনি মহা ক্রোধে অগ্নি হইয়া, ঠ্যাঙা হাতে আমারে আইলো খেদাইয়া।
On hearing these words,
On hearing these words,
he burned with great anger,
he burned with great anger,
and taking a stick in his hand,
and taking a stick in his hand,
he came
after me.
কৃষ্ণেরও হইল যতেক গালাগালি, তাহার মুখে আমি আনিতে না পারি।
He also criticized Krishna
He also criticized Krishna
with such words that I cannot repeat them.
রক্ষা পাইলাম আজি পরমায়ু গুণে, কহিলাম এই আজিকার বিবরণে।
Then I was saved by the will of providence.
Today I was saved by the will of providence.
This is what happened to me today.
This is what happened to me today.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
মূর্খ পড়ুয়াগণের অক্ষজ বিচারে চৈতন্য নিন্দা, শুনিয়া হাসয়ে সব মহামূর্খ গণে, বলিতে লাগিলা যার যেন লয় মনে।
Hearing these words of the student, the greatly foolish friends,
his greatly foolish friends
laughed and started to say
laughed and started to say,
all the things on this, whatever was on their minds.
whatever was in their minds. Chaitanya Charitamrita.
সব দেশ ভ্রষ্ট কইল একলা নিমায় ব্রাহ্মণ মারিতে চাহে ধর্ম ভয় নাই
Nimai Pandit alone has spoiled the entire country, they accused. He wants to strike the caste Brahmana. He has no fear of religious principles. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In those days also, the caste Brahmanas were very proud. They were not prepared to accept chastisement even from a teacher or spiritual master.
Rather than accepting the instructions from Gauranga Mahaprabhu,
Rather than accepting the instructions from Gauranga Mahaprabhu,
the students were very proud.
the students were very proud.
How could they be taught anything?
How could they be taught anything?
So they thought they knew better.
They thought they knew better, they know better.
And so they were saying all kinds of criticism against Lord Gauranga.
So they were saying all kinds of criticisms against Lord Gauranga. Chaitanya Bhagavat.
কেহ বলে ভালো তো বৈষ্ণব বলে লোকে ব্রাহ্মণ লঙ্ঘিতে আইসেন মহাকোপে
One of them said, well, they call him a Vaishnava.
Well, they call him a Vaishnava.
People call him a Vaishnava.
People call him a Vaishnava. But then,
why does he try to angrily beat a Brahmana?
why does he try to angrily beat a Brahmana? Chaitanya Bhagavat.
কেহ বলে বৈষ্ণব বা বলিব কেমনে কৃষ্ণ হেন নাম যদি না বলে বদনে
Another said, how do they call him a Vaishnava?
How can we call him as a Vaishnava?
Does not chant the name of Krishna.
When he does not chant the name of Krishna
from his mouth.
From his mouth.
What time is it?
7:30, Guru Maharaj.
All right. Are there any questions?
All right. Are there any questions?
Don't forget to call up and register for your singing of the Radha Govinda deities.
Call up and get registered for the swinging of the Radha Govinda deities. Don't forget.
Read the WhatsApp number.
Repeat the 993232 plus 919932328446.
Again.
Plus 919932328446.
Too fast? Plus 91 is for India.
Plus 91 is for India.
What's the next?
9932328446.
What happens if we call that number?
I don't know, Guru Maharaj.
You give your name, your city, and your country.
You give your name, your city, and your country.
I heard last night they call out the name and
I heard last night they called out the name and
all the deities
pulled the deities
for you.
for you. Dear most Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances at your merciful lotus feet. All glories to Patita Pavan Srila Prabhupada. Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Guru Maharaj in the Harinam Chintamani is mentioned that before giving the name to general people, we should create faith in the person first. Which is the best way to create that faith in the holy name in the hearts of people? Your insignificant daughter, Ojashwini Radhika Devi Dasi.
Well, Prabhupada said
Well, Prabhupada said,
you could give the holy name
you can give the holy name
freely, and there are no hard and fast rule.
You can give the holy name freely. There is no hard and fast rules.
If you say too many glories of the holy name,
It is said too many glories of the holy name
they may commit some offense.
that may commit some offense.
They may commit.
They may commit some offense.
And they say, oh, how is that possible?
Oh, they may say, oh, how is that possible?
Just like Gopal Chakravarti,
Just like the Gopal Chakravarti,
he offended Lord Haridas Thakur.
he offended Haridas Thakur.
And so we generally just say, chant Hare Krishna and be happy.
So we say, chant Hare Krishna and be happy.
But if we say lots of too many glories of the holy name,
But if we say lots or too many glories of the holy name,
people may doubt it,
people may doubt it,
and thus they'll commit an offense.
and thus they may commit an offense.
Indirectly, we enthuse people to chant
So indirectly we enthuse people to chant
by giving some practical example,
by giving some practical example,
but not giving too many glories.
but not giving too many glories.
Because if we tell too many things,
Because if we tell too many things,
then people may commit offense.
then people may commit offense.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.